You ever think about that? That one small moment or that one simple idea that kind of changed everything for you? Well, today we're going to dive into a story that's all about that. It's set in a classroom called Room 5, and trust me, it's not about what was on the chalkboard. It's about a single idea that had the power to change a life.
And this right here, this is it. This is the big idea. It was the core belief of the teacher, Miss Aisha, and it was more than just words on a poster. It was this powerful promise that you could just feel in the air of Room 5. Every single kid in there had potential. Period.
So what does a classroom actually look like when it's built on a belief like that? Come on, let's step inside Room 5 and really see how this whole idea played out day to day.
Look, this classroom wasn't about having the fanciest decorations or the newest tech. The magic was in the feeling of the place. It was this atmosphere of warmth and encouragement. A place where you just felt safe. A place where every single kid felt like they were truly seen.
And in this room, we meet our main characters. You've got Ayan, the quiet one, kind of hangs back and just observes. Then there's Hanya, who is just bursting with confidence. And of course, Zain, the class clown. 3 totally different kids, but each one a little star in their own way. But every good story needs a challenge, right? And for one of our little stars, that challenge is coming up fast. This is where that whole beautiful idea that every child can shine is about to get a real-world test. And what's the challenge? Oh yeah, it's Story Presentation Day. For some kids, it's just another school day. But for others, it is the most terrifying thing you can imagine. Every single kid has to get up in front of the whole class and talk.
And this is exactly why it is such a huge deal for our guy, Ayan. I mean, the difference between him and Hanya is night and day. Hanya's the queen of crayons, right? She was practically born for the spotlight. But Ayan, he's shy, he's quiet, and this is pretty much his worst nightmare.
And there it is, that quiet little voice of doubt that I think we've all heard in our own heads before. I can't do it. That's the mountain he has to climb. That's the big obstacle that he and his teacher now have to figure out how to get over.
So how do you help a star who doesn't believe they can shine? It's simple, really. You give them the gift of belief. Let's see how Miss Aisha handles this absolutely critical moment. Just notice how simple and powerful this is. She doesn't lecture him from way up high. Nope, she gets right down on his level, puts a hand on his shoulder. It's a small physical gesture of support, but it has this huge impact. It says, "I'm with you."
And this is the line that changes everything. Miss Asha totally reframes the entire problem. She basically tells him, hey, this isn't about putting on a show like Hani Raya. You don't have to be loud. You just have to be brave. And with those few words, the impossible starts to feel just a little bit possible.
Okay, so all of this has been building up to the climax of our story, Presentation Day. This is it, the moment where Ayan has to stand up and face his fear in front of absolutely everyone.
The pressure is cranked all the way up. The room's full of parents, people have their cameras ready. We watch Hanya go up and totally nail her presentation. Then Zain gets up and tells a hilarious story. All of this just builds the tension. And now, it's Ayan's turn.
So he takes a deep breath and steps forward. And when he starts, his voice is just a tiny whisper. But then, he looks over at his teacher. And in that look, he remembers her words. He finds that little bit of belief she gave him, and something shifts. His voice gets stronger, and he does it. And the applause? Man, it wasn't just for the story he told. It was for his courage.
And that's the real payoff. This wasn't just about getting through a presentation. This was a deep, fundamental shift in how he saw himself. He felt that feeling of shining, maybe for the very first time in his life.
So what's the big lesson here? I mean, Ayan's victory was personal, for sure. But the message behind it is for all of us. Let's unpack the big takeaway from all this.
After everything's calmed down, Ayan asks her the one question that's really on his mind. And it's really a question about faith, isn't it? How did you see something in me that I couldn't see in myself?
And her answer, this is the heart of the whole story. It wasn't just about Ayan. It was about every kid. Her role, as she saw it, wasn't to create his potential out of thin air. It was just to be the person who reminded him that it was already there.
And that's why this matters so much. That single belief transformed Room 5. It stopped being just a place to learn facts and became this workshop for nurturing potential, a place where every small step forward was celebrated like the miracle it actually is. And this story isn't just for the Ayans of the world. It's for everyone. It's for the confident Hanyas and the funny Zains and all the quiet dreamers out there.
It's a reminder that everyone gets their chance to shine, just in their own time and in their own way.
So when you really boil it down, that's the core idea. The spark, that's the raw potential that's tucked away inside every single one of us. And the star? Well, that's what happens when that potential is finally seen, believed in, and given a chance to shine. That journey from being a spark to becoming a star is what this whole thing is about.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Just take a second and think about it. Who was your Miss Aisha? Who was that person, a teacher, a parent, a coach, a friend, who saw your potential long before you did and just reminded you that all you needed to do was be brave? Because that gift, the gift of belief, is one of the most powerful things we can ever give to each other.